We will answer, but the two sides, Ukrainian and Russian, cannot hit the energy. Our country will support this. This was part of our proposal. Again, regarding the sky and the sea, with the mediation of the American side, if they are guarantors of control over the implementation of this. I have nothing about this unknown except that, and this the question was raised very generally at the meeting of our teams in Jeddah, and there the moments were discussed. And I also talked about them with the teams. We held consultations regarding important infrastructure energy facilities of our state even before the meeting of our teams in Saudi Arabia. So what are America's conversations with Russians regarding the Zaporizhzhia station? I don't know the details yet. As for the vision, this is our station without us. It won't work according to our intelligence. The Russians really want it to work without us. They are trying to involve the IAEA in this. But the IAEA is a serious international institution, and so far they haven't let us down. I really believe in it. I hope that it will be so. And in the future. Both in the near future and not in the near future. And therefore our station has 6 blocks for us. They are important again. Well, no one will give it to us. The Ukrainian side will not give it to them. So that this station on the occupied part of our temporarily occupied land works for the occupier. This is our position. In order to exclude Ukraine as much as possible from this process, because the parties really have a wide field and their own topics, and this is understandable. America is an independent state with all due respect to America. And the president, they can discuss anything they want about their issues. I don't even want to express my vision and my thoughts. It seems to me that these are their bilateral relations, although they certainly have impact on our situation, and I would like to emphasize, and first of all on the war in Ukraine of the Russians against us, and that is why I would not like to speak absolutely frankly and to the American side. With all due respect again, I do not want to offend anyone, but I do not want us to be on the menu list for Putin. You understand, so we will not compot for this person despite his appetite we see. We are all an independent state and therefore without us, about us. Well, I think that it to negotiate is wrong because the desired result for all will not will. Yes, despite the fact that this is a dangerous ceasefire regime for everyone, because it very icy. We see with you what is happening in the Middle East, we see what a ceasefire is, and we have had ceasefire violations in Ukraine. I mean 20-something times Russia violated. I'm just saying that these two things, they are unconditional. I always try to do everything to the maximum for the sake of the result, and the result here is for everyone because peace is not only for Ukraine. It is first of all for us because we have a war, but it is important for everyone and for the president. I think Trump is important because he talked about it. He is the leader of the United States. America wants an end to the war. I think everyone needs peace, not only Putin, or Putin needs peace as he sees it, not as the whole world, but as he sees it, and that is why I think it is important to press for unconditional steps, and even if it doesn't work out, I don't know, but a dialogue on a ceasefire at sea, the sky, and on the front, but do as much as possible. These are steps. This is not weakness-like. To propose is strength, because the end of the war is strength, the beginning of war is weakness. The man with the weapon who came to us is weak, and the man who began to defend himself, this man is strong, and exactly so, and that's why I think that President Trump decided he was right in what he said. Let's try a ceasefire. But Putin, he just didn't expect us to confirm it because he's playing a completely different story. What Putin wants, I would really like President Trump, he heard and saw this, what Putin wants. First of all, Putin wants to do several offensive actions, as we said, in Zaporizhzhia, in East, continue in Zaporizhzhia, in Kharkiv. In Sumy, for example, he will try to do it to put maximum pressure on Ukraine when this happens. Believe me, he will try to do all this in the coming months. That's how it will happen. He will want to go ahead, go forward, enter our territory as much as possible. He doesn't care how many people he has killed, it doesn't matter. We can't repeat this anymore. That is, he has no value for people. He, together with his Koreans, etc., friends in Iran with the Shaheeds, wants to enter our territory as much as possible. Now I'll explain why. In order to go at some point in time a ceasefire with ultimatum messages to Ukraine. Precisely for this, to be in a more favorable situation and to put maximum pressure on Ukraine, on our people, on me directly, and this is a fact. And it is he who wants this and can be of different nature. Well, you hear some messages. That's what he wants. That's why we need strength here. America's willingness to stand its ground and put pressure on him. First of all, I think that even if there is a partial ceasefire and an unconditional partial ceasefire, I think that this is a positive result. Any case brings us closer to one or another, the end of the war or some steps. So what? Well, in any case it is towards peace and not towards further complications of military combat situations. So on the front, this is the first thing I think is right. If we know all the details, I am here without reproaches. I just think that you know how in Jeddah we talked. Groups in parallel contacted their presidents. It went very quickly and within a day progressed. This is really progress in diplomacy, unloaded difficult moments, and also saw joint steps, diplomatic unfrozen aid, data exchange. I think it was very positive. That's what it means when we talk more. We share details. Hear what I said, I'm skeptical of Russians. Yes, well, because look, he immediately said that I'm giving the order now and nothing is going anywhere. Yes, well, that's a lie. We went through it when we were negotiating with him about a ceasefire. I want to remind you, and then we talked on the phone, and in the East he was constantly being disrupted by Russia, and we talked about what was being disrupted. He was surprised by this. Yes, but it's clear that it still breaks or it doesn't break. That's all. That's why I'm skeptical. That doesn't mean we don't want. We are skeptical about the ceasefire from the point of view of trust. There is no trust in Putin. That's why I'm saying we need to understand how technically it will happen so that it doesn't depend only on their wishes. To be honest, I don't know the details yet. I'll tell you honestly, I asked to prepare because probably just like you saw it in the media, maybe you have other sources, I saw it in the media, but it doesn't give me the full situation, full picture. I asked the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Our minister replied that first of all it's not a fact that something will be stopped or suspended because we agreed that he will prepare for me now. Are we talking about a ceasefire or are we talking about a contingent? We are just talking about these slightly different things. Ceasefire. This goes to the contingent because this is the first step. Well, you know why to prepare agreement, and when the agreement is ready, part of the agreement will definitely be security guarantees, and there will be contingents or not. I mean, in what composition now I'm not ready to say. That is, to understand your question, whether or not our partners understand that Russia can still go to violation of the agreements and what their actions are in this there to increase aid and so further. Well, I think that the increase in aid should be, and we see from European colleagues, it is happening, and the Thor is grateful to the United States that they restored aid. Now I see some deficits, but in general, serious deficits such today, and there are issues with FPV, there are some other issues, but they're from the point of view of artillery, from the point of view of some anti-aircraft systems, etc. For now we are closing these issues and honestly saying we are increasing several contracts. They are not free as it was there in the first year or in the second year of the war. We have not free aid, but it is there, i.e., and we find for it either partner money or our own money, so the aid will not affect it in any way. I am sure on the contrary. Now all countries, and I am not by chance in Finland and not by chance in Norway, all countries are doing two things as much as possible. First, increase support. Second, increase the percentage of this support in our domestic production. Secondly, regarding aid, air defense, it is clear that in Ukraine there is no terms of production yet. Well, look here. The desire of the parties, if we want to end the war, ceasefire will work. By the way, even if we stop only the sky, I still look positively at it because the sky can be controlled 100%. 100%, but we need details that we will not take away from the military. Sorry, FPV Yaki on the front. We have no right. We were ready to stop everything. Quiet everywhere, yes, but if this is not there and we are talking sky, and we are talking about energy, yes, let's talk about energy and about the sky, but not take away from people the opportunity to protect ourselves on the front. That's why I said, well, the devil is in the details. Let's meet. Let the groups meet and agree.